Hello, fourth grade. Mr. Sweet here, bringing you another math lesson. This lesson is going to be for Tuesday. We're actually going back a little bit. I know we've done some multiplication the last two weeks, and we wanted to, as fourth grade teachers, decided to go back and review some division. We thought division was important for you guys to move on to fifth grade, just kind of brush up on some division. So this is going to be lesson one, division lesson one. And our central question of the day is, how can you use partial quotients to divide by one-digit divisors? Now, we are going to also do regrouping as well. I'm going to show you examples of each, so don't worry. And it is really up to you which method you prefer. Okay, but I'm going to start out with just the very basic fundamentals of division. Okay, example one, you'll see here I have 36 divided by 6. And if you look to your right over here, I have 36 divided by 6. That's written as an improper fraction. That's exactly the same as asking what is 36 divided by 6. And then it's also written this way, 36 divided by 6 as an expression. So it's all asking for the same thing. You're looking to find the quotient or the answer to a division problem. Now, if you look here, I have my dividend, which is 30. And I drew 30 dots over here. So what we're going to do is divide up these 30 dots. And when we do that, we have to look at our divisor, which is 6. So when I do this, or when you do this, we're going to circle 6 dots each. So I'm going to go ahead and do 6 dots. I'm going to double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know there's 6 dots inside of each of these circles. Now the idea is to circle until we account for all the dots, or until we get less than 6 dots inside of each circle, like if there was a remainder. But in this case, it evens out pretty well. There will be no remainder. But let's keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and circle the next one. I have another group of 6 dots. I'm going to circle here. I have another group of 6 dots, another group of 6 dots, and another group of 6 dots. If I look at the total amount of green circles, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that will be my quotient up here, 5. And really the reason I'm just reviewing this really simple division problem is just getting in your minds that, hey, my quotient is really 5 groups of 6. So 5 groups of 6. So just start thinking, well, what am I really finding? Yeah, it's the quotient. That's the answer to a division problem. But I'm really finding 5 groups of 6. So that is your answer, 5 groups of 6. And while we're here, I thought maybe we could do a quick review of just some vocabulary. So we know the answer to a division problem is your quotient. And then you have what's to be divided up over here. That is your dividend. And then what are you dividing it up by? That will be over here on the right, outside of the house, so to speak. That is your divisor. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now, review if you need to for example 1. I'll see you on example 2. Okay, welcome back, fourth grade. We're going to do example number 2. This one's directed at partial quotient. So remember, the word partial only means part of the problem. So when you hear the word partial, that is just telling you it's only part of the problem. So partial quotients. All right. Now, here's the problem. Lacrosse is played on a field of 330 feet long. How many yards is a lacrosse field? So again, they give you the answer in feet, but it's asking you to convert into yards. And we know 3 feet equals 1 yard. So if we go 330 feet divided by 3, that's going to give you basically how many yards this field is. So we're converting from feet to yards. So 330 divided by 3. So when we look at partial quotient, Our quotients are really going to be over here. This is our quotient side, meaning these are part of the final answer. Okay, so when we do this, when you do partial quotients, you're always going to use your divisor to multiply by. So for example, I have times 100. I want to get close to the dividend as I can. So I want to get pretty close to this dividend of 330. And I want to do that with this using, efficient numbers, using numbers that's going to get close to that. So we're going to go ahead and multiply it by 100 since our highest place value is in the hundreds. And think, my divisor, what times 100 is close to 330? So that is going to be 3. So then you multiply 3 times 100, I get 300. And you'll notice over here, they move, this 100 is now going to be part of your partial quotient. Okay, so you put the 300 over here, then you subtract 330 from 300, 300 from 330, you get 30. And then you got to go to this part here where it says 30, and you got to finish out. So think, it's always your divisor you're going to use. So you're going to multiply something by 10 to get close to 30. Well, we know that's going to be 3. 3 times 10 equals 30. And then again, this is your partial quotient. They're just putting it over here to the side. And then let's finish out over here. So we know 30 minus 30 is 0. And if you look over here, then I got to add my partial quotients. So my partial quotients, and I'll just do different colors, going to be 100 plus 10. So 110. So your answer is 110 yards long. Okay. So that's the partial quotient way. It is different from regrouping. If this is the way you prefer, go ahead and pause the video and review, and I'll see you on example 3. Okay, welcome back, 4th grade. Now this problem and this is example number 3, we will be using regrouping, so it will be different from partial products. So let's get into it. So there are 8,523 sheets of origami paper to be divided equally among 8 schools. How many sheets of origami paper will each school get? So again, 8,523 is going to be your dividend, and then we're going to stick the divisor on the outside of the house of 8. So it tells you here, look, and I'll start reading right here. Look at the thousands in 8,523. So again, when you guys do this, look at the thousands in 8,523. The 8 is in the thousands to be shared among 8 groups without regrouping. So again, you're going to start. The first digit you're going to divide will be in the thousands place, which will be the 8 over here. So step 2, divide by the thousands. We know 8 divided by 8 is 1. Then multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract 0. And then your next step is bring down the 5. Okay. And then this next step is to divide into the hundreds place. So we've already done step 2. Now we're going to divide into the hundreds place, step 3. So we're doing step 3. So we're basically doing 5 divided by 8. We know we can't divide 5 candy bars among 8 people, so that's going to be 0. So that is one of those things when this number down here is smaller than your divisor, it will be a 0. So 5 divided by 8, 0. And that is step 3. And then we just go back, multiply. 0 times 8 is 0. Subtract 5, and then bring down the 2. So now we have 52. So we're going to divide by, and it's still kind of part of the hundreds. Think 52 divided by 8. What times 8 gets close to 52 is 6. And then we do 48. Subtract, and we know 52 minus 48 is 4. And then we bring down, and we just did step 4, the tens. Now we're down to step 5, which is the ones place. So now, actually no, we're still in step 4. We're in the tens place. So 43 divided by 8. So think, I can get close to that by multiplying by 5. 5 times 8 is 40. I have a remainder of 3. So again, there'll be 1,065 sheets with the remainder of 3 left over. Now you're like, well, how do I check my work? Remember, you multiply your quotient, 1,065, by your divisor of 8. So I multiply 5 times 8 is 40. and then 6 times 8 is 48, and then I go here, I get 48, and then I get 52, and then I get 0 times 8 is 0 plus 5, bring the 5 down, and 8 times 1 is 8. But 8,523 does not equal this. You guys guessed it, I did not do the last step, so we got to make sure you add your remainder, plus 3, 8,523. Now these two match. So once that matches your dividend, 8,523, you know your answer is correct. So this is the regrouping. Go ahead and pause the video, review if you need to. This is the method you like. I will see you for problem number 1. Okay, welcome back, 4th grade. This is going to be your time to show what you know. Problem number 1, find the quotient, which is the answer to a division problem. Use any method you wish. And then any method, meaning you could do regrouping, or you could do partial quotients. Now, there are 2 parts. I do want you guys to divide any method you wish. Again, if you like regrouping or partial quotients, I'm asking you guys to also check your work. Remember, when you check your work, you're going to multiply your quotient by your divisor to get your dividend. So whatever you multiply by should be 852 when you multiply your quotient by your divisor. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now, and you will be answering on its learning. So pause the video now and go ahead and answer on its learning. Welcome back, 4th grade. We are on problem number 2. Find the quotient, use any method you wish, check your work. Okay, remember to check your work. That just means multiply your quotient by your divisor. That should equal 816. Go ahead and you are going to answer on its learning. Go ahead and pause the video and answer on its learning now. See you for problem number 3. Okay, 4th grade, we're back, and we are on our last problem, problem number 3. We have a word problem for you. Rob wants to put 8 baseball cards on each page in an album. How many pages will he fill? And again, you have a chart over here. This is Rob's baseball card collection over here. And keep in mind, what is it asking you to find? So I'm not going to give you too many clues, but this is Rob's baseball collection right here. And again, how many pages will he fill? Keep in mind, what is it asking? Okay. All right. So go ahead and pause the video. And actually, pause the video and then answer, but this will be our last problem. So guys, thanks for letting me teach you, and I will see you tomorrow.